glad you guys are here. So welcome to the Brand Pop Workshop. I'm so excited you guys are here. Obviously you two know me, but anyone else who doesn't know me, I'm Melina Southworth of Southworth Design Co. I am a branding and website designer. And today I just want to share some quick actionable tips to help you navigate this crazy, crazy time that we're in right now. Business is changing and it's changing fast, and I don't want you guys to be left behind. I want you guys to be able to shine and to show up for your audience. And I know that a lot of you, like me, I'm working from home with kids, trying to homeschool. So your time is valuable, and I do not want to take advantage of that or waste that. So we're going to move through this fairly quickly. Hi, Emily. We're just getting started. You haven't missed a thing. So my goal today is just to give you guys 5 simple steps to help your brand pop. And if you have any questions, please put those in the chat and I will try to address any of those at the end of this. And yeah, like I was just saying, Emily, I was just telling the ladies that I totally understand that you guys are, a lot of us are at home with kids and trying to work and trying to homeschool. So I don't want to take advantage of your time. I definitely want to give you some good actionable advice in a timely fashion. So I'm actually going to share my screen here and switch over to slides. We'll see how technology cooperates with me. And share. That is not what I'm seeing. There we go. Okay. All right. Maybe I can move that over. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so without any further ado, I'd love to take you guys through just 5 steps to help your brand pop even in the midst of crisis. So this is meant to be an actionable plan to help you stand out, show up, and serve your audience in this like unprecedentedly crazy time. So really quickly, this will, oh, I love when technology fails me. Okay, just for some context, there are over 30 million small businesses in the US today, and that sounds terrifying, and it is not meant to scare you. But just to give you some context, that there are a lot of businesses out there, and it's really your responsibility as a business owner to show up for your people and to like make yourself known. And a lot of times it's going to feel like the market is saturated and you feel like a little fish in an ocean of competition. And I am here today to help you really figure out ways to overcome that feeling, and also just to stand up and be proud of who you are and what you offer the world. And so I'm sure some of you can relate to this. It's okay. You are not alone. It's an overwhelming feeling to be an entrepreneur, but we're all gritty and scrappy and smart ladies, and that's why we're here. So I'm here to help you today. And just for a little bit of background for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Melina Southworth. I'm a branding and Squarespace web design expert. I work out of my home here in Aledo, Texas, currently with my 3 children, which is always trying. But I'm excited to help out other female entrepreneurs. My heart is for small business. And what I'm seeing right now in the world, it's heartbreaking, because I feel like so many small businesses are really lost and scared, and they need some direction. And I'm hoping just to give a little bit of hope and direction today, and hopefully this is beneficial to you. So without further ado, step number 1, let's jump right into it. The step number 1 for you is to show up. And it sounds super simple, and it is, but your audience, your clients, your family, they all need you. Showing up is the hardest and most important thing you can do right now. So choose your platform or platforms and speak up. And I can't stress this enough, how important it is. So many people, like I said, they're scared. They're looking for hope and direction and just help. So you have the opportunity right now to show strength in the midst of all this chaos. And while the rest of the world panics and shuts down and hides away, you can show up as a leader in your industry. So when the dust settles and coronavirus passes, because it will pass eventually, you can be that voice that didn't go silent, and you can be ready when the rest of the world finally wakes up and starts functioning again. I think one of the most important things that anyone ever said to me was this, and I'll say this to you guys: if you ever needed permission, I'm giving it to you now. You are so needed and so, so valuable. The world needs your gift and your knowledge and your uniqueness, the service and the products that you provide, and your message, and your voice matters. So go for it. And if you're worried about what to say, it's okay to talk about what's going on. And honestly, it would be kind of strange if you didn't. So it's okay to talk about the hard things, but it's okay also to not talk about the elephant in the room and be a welcome distraction or bring some humor or levity to their day. And I think in this crisis in particular, I've seen more humor than I've ever seen in any other crisis. And that, like, it seriously warms my heart to see that there are people that can take a terrible situation and still put a smile on people's faces. So the bottom line is just be there for your audience. And I promise you, they're online right now. It's pretty much the world is online right now. So they're listening. So show up for them, and you've got this. Step 2 is to be real. And I mean, like, really, really real. We need to show up, and we need to show up authentically. Show up the way that you show up. If that is through humor, like we were saying, use humor. If you love giving tips on event planning or self-care or homeschooling, and I think everybody needs homeschooling tips right now, then do that. And if you communicate best through gifts or movie quotes, then do that. Just be yourself, because pretending to be someone else, it makes it impossible for your audience to connect with you. And it's exhausting. I mean, who wants to be someone else? So really, really lean into who you are, and like lean way in. And the people that resonate with the authentic you, they'll find you, and they will surely be your most amazing clients. And I'm talking about like those dream clients that you know, if you had more of them, you would never feel like you're working. So just be who you are. Your people are out there and they're looking for you. And while you're at it, I would also say to consider your why. And I'm sure most of you, sorry guys, most of you have at least heard of Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And just as a side note, Simon Sinek is brilliant and adorable, and I have the biggest nerd crush on him. And don't tell my husband, he won't watch this anyway. But he's adorable and I love him. I watch every Simon Sinek, anything I can find, because it's just, he makes my heart happy. But the super Cliff's Notes version of the book is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And crafting your why statement is really similar to crafting your mission statement, but from a more like emotionally tangible perspective. So the formula is super simple. It's to blank so that blank. So for instance, my why statement is to give voice and confidence to female entrepreneurs so that they can pour into their businesses and their families and live out their dreams. And you'll notice that I never mentioned branding. I never mentioned websites. It's all about the benefits to my client, but it's also my heart for my clients. And it helps to keep that in mind. If you're being real and you're remembering the heart or your why, then you will be sure to connect with the people that need you. Oh no. Okay, next. Oh, sorry guys. Focus on your audience. It is not about you, it's about them. And that's a hard one for some entrepreneurs to wrap their heads around. I think it's becoming more of the more commonplace and more common knowledge now. But focus on your audience. It's so, so key. I think we have somebody coming in. Sorry, guys. Oh, hi, guys. I'm so sorry. It's making me admit people one at a time. So apologies for that, but I'm glad you're here. So if you're joining us late, I will send out a link later with a replay, so you'll catch the few tips that we've been through already. I'm trying to keep this fairly brief because your time is valuable to me, and I want you to be able to get back to your lives and not spend all day on here. Oh my gosh, this is great. Hello, Elizabeth. I'm glad you're here. So moving right along. So tip number 3, as I just said, is focus on your audience. It's not about you, it's about them. And people are starting to realize this right now, but the market is changing. And honestly, the world is changing right now. The businesses that are going to survive are the ones that are going to stop and listen to their audience. So this is an exercise that I encourage you to try. Reach out to your past clients. and even past prospective clients that passed on your products and services before, ask them how you can help them right now. Meet them, meet your audience and your clients where they are, and define how you can serve and bless them right now. I know that this sounds incredibly simple, but it's also super, super powerful. So ask what's useful, what's helpful, or where they're struggling, and then give them the tools that they're desperate for right now. And when you focus on your audience, you're connecting with real people and with real problems. So I have a personal experience on this. A friend of mine recently was asking, well, what about selling in a time of crisis? Like, I might be focusing on my audience, but doesn't that seem like underhanded to do that? But it's not. What I'm talking about is not taking advantage of someone or manipulating them in a crisis scenario. It's about serving them, period. Does it benefit you to be able to do business during a crisis? Yes. Is it wrong to make a profit during crisis? No. You have a gift, and it's something that can seriously bless your audience. It honestly would be almost selfish not to offer that. So I just encourage you to focus on your audience, ask the questions, identify their needs, and meet them where they are with solutions that are going to improve their lives today. So our next point here, every time. Okay, get creative. And I know you can. Even if you're not a creative person, now is the time to really dig deep. It's a great time to ideate and to come up with new offerings. People's needs are changing, and they're looking for different things to do, things to learn, things to enrich their lives, and even distract them from what's going on right now. So just try to think of, like, what new ways can you serve your clients right now? And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Your audience might be looking for something that's already been done, but maybe not from you. And you're someone that they know, like, and trust. So give them just something different that is helping them right where they are. So a personal example of this, I've created a whole new offering that is something I never planned on doing before. I'm creating done-for-you website and branding packages, templates, that are a fraction of the cost of my typical packages. I've asked several people in my audience, and I'm seeing this need for brick and mortar businesses to transition their businesses online fast. And traditional branding and website design takes weeks and weeks and thousands of dollars, and they simply don't have that right now. So I'm creating a solution to help them quickly and affordably. And our website template's new? No. But it's a new offering and a new way that I can serve my local and small businesses. And if I can help save one small business during this time, then to me, it's completely worth it. So think of different ways that you can serve people right where they are. If you're a fitness instructor, meet your clients online and hold video workout sessions. If you're a nutritionist, you can offer a quarantine grocery list with recipes. And a lot of my photographer friends, I've noticed, they're offering front porch mini sessions from a safe 6 feet distance away. There's so many ways for us to serve. And another way to get creative right now is to consider offering discounts. And normally I am not a discount kind of girl, but these are not normal times, and I recognize that. And if you have something that you don't mind offering up as a freebie, even for a limited time, it's a great way to build goodwill and to get more traffic. So I've seen discounts from 10% to 50% to completely free. And it just lets your audience know that you understand what they're going through and you care. I'm currently running, like, I literally have a COVID-19 promo code, which I think is just kind of funny. But the point is, get creative, because now is the time to start creating those new offers to help your clients right where they are. And then my fifth and final point here is to be consistent, just over and over and over, again and again and again. And this is the part that I drive home with my branding clients. They hear a lot out of me, is just, you have to be consistent. So this step kind of puts, like, all of the pieces together and ties a pretty little bow on it. The sweet spot of branding is the intersection of voice and message and visuals. And the consistency, it builds trust It builds brand recognition. It makes you more memorable. You appear more professional, more reliable, and it allows your audience to really feel like they get to know who you are. So consistency is comforting. And that means that you have a clear brand voice, you have a clear brand message, you have supporting graphics that are consistent and cohesive to that voice and message. And you're consistently using the same logos, color palette, font palette, communication style. And this isn't meant to confine you or to make your life harder. When you have these elements in place, it actually makes your life as a business owner so much easier. So much more filled with like confidence and direction, and you have this foundation. And when you do, everything just works together. Everything like synergizes, if that's a word. But you don't have to waste time wondering, what colors do I use? What fonts? What voice should I use here? Is it appropriate? You don't second guess yourself, or stay quiet because you're embarrassed of what your logo or your message or your website is, for that matter, because it doesn't accurately represent you. When you have all of these elements in place, you have the confidence and the clarity in who you are. And when you do, that's when you can show up. You're real, you're focusing on your audience, you're offering them creative solutions to their problems, and it's all consistent. Then at that point, I promise you, your brand will absolutely pop. So like I said, just some quick steps for you. I want to thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I had a lot of fun, and I'm going to pop over just a second to the chat to see if there's any questions. But I hope this was helpful to you. And this is not groundbreaking, earth-shattering information. It's just something that sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And if you guys have any questions, please put in the chat, or even unmute yourself if you want to ask me. I would love to hear anything you have if I went too fast, or or if you need just further clarity on something, just let me know. Okay, Erin. Hi, Erin. I just finished up a branding project with Erin a little bit ago. She is a fantastic realtor in California, and she also has an office in South Carolina. And I just love the way her branding turned out. So how often should we be posting videos? What platform are you talking about, Erin? Is this like YouTube or Instagram stories or on IG? Okay. I was just listening to Gary V this morning. If you guys do not follow Gary Vaynerchuk, you definitely should. His language is a little crass, but he gets his point across. And he's an amazingly smart guy. And he was giving advice this morning to an aspiring male model. And he asked me, he said, how often are you posting on Instagram? And he said, once a week. He's like, no one's ever going to find you if you're posting once a week. And I'm guilty of this myself. I'm terrible at social media just because it's not a love language of mine. But he was telling this kid, he was like, if you want to get out there, it doesn't have to be polished and slick all the time. It needs to be authentic. And his recommendation was, for this particular kid, was 3 times a day. But that's not like, let me pour hours into creating this like perfectly curated content. It's be real and talk to people. And I think that's across posts and stories. I think you can get a lot across in stories that might be easier, more comfortable than putting it on your actual page. You're welcome, Erin. So I hope that helps you guys a little bit. I thought that was really interesting advice that I heard this morning. So obviously, the more you can get in front of people, the better. And right now, unfortunately, kind of like the loudest voice gets the attention. It's like the squeaky wheel, So I want the people that are being the loudest to be the ones that have a heart for other people, not the ones that are trying to take advantage and make a quick buck. So it's important for people who have a heart for others to be getting loud right now. So any other questions from you guys? I think I may have like sped through my little presentation there out of nervousness, nothing else. All right, I'm going to give you guys another minute to ask any questions. Ha! Okay, Emily, where do you suggest we put our why statement? That's a really good question. So, and for you guys, Emily is an amazing acupuncturist, and I worked with her last year on her branding and website, and she has such an amazing heart for others, and especially for women who are trying to conceive. I think there's ways that you can thread that into your website, into like your profile, without having to necessarily spell out your why statement. You can still use that same kind of verbiage, and I think it's a really smart idea to have like a word bank of different descriptors and just different adjectives of how you want people to feel when they interact with you, how you want them to perceive your business, and just the general impression that you want to give off. And just try to keep pulling from those words. You don't have to use the same words every single time, but if it's all building towards this common persona that you have, then that's really, really helpful. So definitely craft your why statement because it makes you look at things from a different angle. I think the beauty of the why statement is it's so much less about you and about your technical specific attributes and more about like what it is that you bring to the world. So it's a powerful thing to work on. And if you haven't read Simon Sinek's book, I highly recommend it. He has some really great TED Talks. I think he has like a 17 or 18-minute TED Talk that is specifically about your why. It's called Start With Why also, I believe. And it's fantastic. And he's adorable. So it's really fun to watch him too. Okay. Anybody else? Oh, you're welcome, Emily. I hope that was helpful. Don't be shy, guys. Oh, and if you haven't yet already, and I'll send it out with an email with the replay link, especially if you missed at the beginning. I'm so sorry. It was making me admit people one at a time. So if you missed a bit, that very well could have been my fault. I will send out a link with the replay and also with the download for the PDF if you didn't get it yet. It just walks through those 5 steps that I mentioned with a little context for each, just so you can keep it fresh in your mind and make sure that you're really, really standing up and standing out right now. All right, Michelle, can you give an example of using voice, message, and visuals? Yes. So what I like to do with my branding clients, and a couple of you can attest to this, we start off with like an inspiration board, and it's just images that spark joy. Basically, it doesn't have to be specific to your industry, but it gives your designer a really great, and yourself sometimes, a really great idea of how you want your business to be perceived, how you want others to be impacted by what you're doing. It's a really fun exercise. And if you're interested, Michelle, I can send you a link to directions on that also, how to walk yourself through that, kind of finding your signature style. At the same time, I would recommend writing down, like I was saying before, like that word bank, write down adjectives that describe the way you want your business to be perceived and the words that you want to use to convey that message. So an example of using the voice, message, and visuals in tandem, you wouldn't want to have like a really, like, let's use Gary Vee for an example. He's loud. He drops F-bombs like crazy, super smart, really surprisingly humble guy, but you wouldn't see this guy who's like not holding back one bit. It's kind of gritty with this really soft, like sophisticated, refined, restrained branding. You want things to be in cohesive with each other. So just try to make sure that your visuals are matching your voice and what you're saying. And if there's a disconnect there, people are going to feel it and it sticks out like a sore thumb. So just make sure that your visuals are translating what your voice is saying. I hope that makes sense. Okay, do we have any other questions, guys? I so appreciate you guys signing up for this too. I think I told a few, this is my first workshop, so a little crazed and unsure, but I'm really glad you guys are here. And it's a really crazy time right now. And like I said, I think the businesses that are going to excel and propel themselves forwards are the ones that don't just sit down and shut up right now. It's the ones that are working behind the scenes, that are getting all of the elements that they need. It's improving your website, figuring out your why statement, reaching out to past clients. Things like that are going to be what moves the needle for businesses right now. And finding creative solutions, I think, is probably one of the most important things that you can do right now. I know in our town, and a few of you are locals here, um, small businesses are closing doors, and it's really scary and it's really sad. So finding ways to help them now is where my heart is, and just listening to them and listening to what you can do for them. There's so many ways to get creative and to really reach out and help others. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. I've been like sweating and heart racing over here. But if there's no more questions, thank you, Erin. If anyone's interested also in the branding and website templates that I had mentioned earlier, I'm going to be launching those next week. And Emily, you inspire me. You're gonna make me cry. Um, I'll be launching those next week. If you guys go to southworthdesign.co/shop-templates, those will be up there. I'll send out a link for that also. And if you're just interested in finding out more information about branding our websites, or if you just want to talk out ways that you can start showing up for your audience, go to southworthdesign.co. You can book a call with me. I'm happy to hop on and chat with you guys. Um, Tony, I'm so glad this has been good for you. It's not, yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's a scary time. And I think the more that we can lift each other up, the more that we can help out others, the better the world's going to be. And like I said, when all of this passes, and it will, when the dust settles, um, I want to see so many strong and thriving businesses. And I think you guys would be a part of that, because you're here, you're standing up for yourselves now. All right, thank you guys so much. If you have any other questions, if you want to email me, feel free, Melina@southworthdesign.co, or like I said, book a call. Best of luck, and stay healthy and stay safe. And I will, maybe next time I will not fly through this in 22 minutes. But thank you guys so much. Have a great day and go enjoy your families.